Last week, the Western world suffered yet another terrorist attack. France has been rewarded for their attempt to assimilate a Libyan refugee. Mohammed Bruhal didn't use a gun, he drove a truck. He drove it over a mile, literally through a soft target crowd that was celebrating France's Bastille Day. He killed scores, maimed hundreds, men, women, children, indiscriminately. And today, a large segment of the Islamic world community is celebrating. Of course, the members of our elite journalistic corps are doing everything in their power to explore the possibility that this may not have been an Islamic terrorist. They're spinning the story with things like Muhammad had previously been accused of road rage. Yeah, perhaps this was just road rage, Muhammad may have been experiencing marital problems. Perhaps the poor boy was out of control with despondency. And my favorite, my absolute favorite, we don't know Muhammad's motives. He may have been acting alone. Oh boy, that's real comforting. No need to call ISIS Central anymore to get an okay to kill infidels. You can just go for it. You got to wonder, where do these investigative skills vanish? Where do those probing questions disappear when it comes to police shootings? It seems to me that there's a striking difference the way police shootings are reported and the way Islamic terrorist events are portrayed. Let's take a look at Ferguson. Hands up, don't shoot. That's a totally fictitious depiction of what happened. Yet the press latched onto it. No investigation. It was immediate. And it seems that the recanting of the lie, once it was shown to be false, was not presented with anywhere near the same enthusiasm as the original story. It was too late anyway. As Hillary would say, what difference does it make now? And to this day, you can see hands up, don't shoot on t-shirts and posters. It's on the lips of protesters everywhere and the subject of scores of rap songs. Fiction is fact, thanks to CNN. Now compare that to the Boston Marathon. Oh, back in those days, the mood was bleak. In their hearts, the press knew the truth. But they were hoping against hope that this particular attack was at the hands of, oh God, please let it be, a right-wing group. When it comes to Islam, the propagandists in the press tell us not to judge an entire religion on the deeds of a few. But when it comes to the police, these same propagandists seem to be calling for widespread sweeping reform. Now, my point here is not to damn Islam, nor is it to commend the valor of the men and women in blue. If we had anything that resembled a professional, functioning, free, honest press corps, those issues would take care of themselves. We'd be hearing several sides of all the stories presented. Alas, that's not the case. My point here is that the reports that the public sees on television, hears on radio, reads in the newspaper, or on the internet are slanted. They're tainted with deceit and lies of omission. Reports are not intended to inform. They're intended to influence opinions. Reports clearly emphasize parts of an event that promote their favorite cause and minimize parts of that event that damage that cause. Their cause, of course, is radical left-wing social engineering. They are convinced that you need to have their enlightened leadership in order to be able to have any meaning in your pitiful little insignificant life. The press today is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the left. If you're under 40, you may not know anything about how the old USSR literally controlled what their citizens saw and heard in the news. Your teachers, professors, perhaps left this out of their lessons, or worse yet, they justified it. Pravda, TASS, those were the media networks in communist Soviet Union. They reported what the party wanted the public to know. There was no equal time provision for opposing views. You see, opposing views were not allowed. Here in the 21st century America, turn on PBS and you can get just a glimpse of how Pravda and TASS must have been. Well, there was lots of lighthearted entertainment, But when it came to the news, it was the party line and the party line only. As we get deeper into the election season, our USA media propagandist machine will crank it up, and they won't even attempt to be subtle. Let's take a look. Donald Trump. Here's some truths. He is deeply flawed, he is egotistical, he is arrogant, and he is a blowhard. The press will have a field day. There won't be a word out of Donald's mouth that will not be demonized directly or by inference by CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, you pick it. Let's take a look at some truths about Hillary. She is deeply flawed, egotistical, arrogant, a liar, and corrupt to the bone. Here the press will ignore all of that and minimize any guffaws she may make. The New York Times, the Washington Post, all the others, they're going to have copious, flowery, poetic articles on how she's fighting for justice and equality. The lefties, take heart. If the efforts of America's Pravda and TASS networks bear fruit, Hillary is going to win, and the left just may achieve their ultimate goal. It could be signaling the end of the two-party system in the United States. And if so, the federal government is probably going to wind up looking like Chicago and other big cities. Our three branches of government, already twisted well beyond anything intended in our Constitution, will perhaps begin to look like a city council meeting in any of the large urban areas across the country. The press is going to be okay with this. Corruption, favoritism, party politics, these will become the rule. The party bosses will throw a few bones down to the precinct now and then, just so they can keep the proletariat in line. But there will be no doubt about who the boss is. And that boss will not be of, by, and for the people. That boss will be of, by, and for those who are in power. This is exactly the opposite of what our nation's founders intended when they crafted the Constitution. And the press will be okay with this. It's going to be 8 years into Hillary's administration, and everything that's gone wrong will still be Bush's fault. America is in deep trouble. It's not because of crooked politicians. We've always had them and always will. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. America has dealt with corruption in the past with a free press. But with no free press, the corrupt will triumph. America is under attack from fundamental Islam. They despise your freedom and liberty. They want to destroy it. That's easy to see. But America is also under attack from within by radical leftists. They do not love freedom. They do not love liberty. They want to destroy it. They think you, the little people, are incapable of governing yourselves. You need to have them. Don't trust a thing that you hear in the press. They are masters of deceit. As propagandists, they know that the best lies are based on threads of truth. Pravda, TASS, Joseph Goebbels, propaganda amateurs compared to the American press. As always, I invite all, but especially those with opposing views, to contact me. Let's open up a civil dialogue. We have much in common, and we have much to lose if the left wins. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.